to see, because of what Sekou read earlier, that the whole camouflage, for instance, European domination is camouflaged even in universalism. It's camouflaged in so-called humanism, liberalism. All of these things, they're telling you, like multiculturalism. It's supposed to be enlightening, but what it's really doing is preventing African people from being African. When Arabs come at you, they're very openly nationalistic. Europeans hide their nationalism in as I said, pseudo-universalism. But we need to look at what they've done, what their position has been, and hold them accountable, in Africa, and let people see, what the effect of Islam as it brings in a culture, as Christianity brings in a cultural paradigm. So I totally agree with you that needs to be done. This doesn't do it. Somebody's got to do it. Yes.
Yeah, I thank you for doing the book that prominent movement, because it's the first time that I read something where somebody was actually critiquing European thought and behavior patterns. And it's interesting that the brother was speaking about Islam, where for me, I find that it's no difference as far as the mindset of the African who is practicing Islam or the African practicing Christianity and whatnot, whether they're over here or over there. I mean, I know people from Senegal who will tell me they're Muslim and they speak probably Francais, but run when I ask them something about Wallah and whatnot. And, so I think for myself, you really can't try to focus on one form of atrocities that's happening to us if you want to have a total eradication of the Marimba complex. You have to attack all of it. It's like getting a bunion or something out of your foot. You just can't cut a piece of it or it'll grow back. So you have to get it off. And I think that to the degree of acculturation that was exposed to our people both here and over in the continent, in their different areas, explains why we're in the position that we're in here and why they're in the position that they're in over there. Because the scheme of the Marimba and the continent has the Africans over there at war with each other, because not of religion, but because of the mental and psychological mind games that's been exposed on them. And the same thing that's happening over here, why we can't get up with consciousness, is because of the acculturation and the mental mind game that has been inflicted on us here. And you see it when you hear people say, I'm from Jamaica, I'm from Trinidad, I'm from Barbados, and the slave ship brought Africans over here. But then when you go on the continent, you hear them say, I'm from Nigeria, I'm from Senegal, I'm from Ghana, but they're all Africans, so, we got some serious work to do in that area.
Well, I think what I presented and tried to explain and talk about was a paradigm that allows us to focus on that presents an answer. You know, it's not the answer, but it instead of us just focusing on what it is that has been done to us by others, it's that it's a paradigm for healing, and that healing is a political statement. That healing is about us coming back to who we are, you know, so that you get a statement of authenticity, authentic Africanness. If we do that, then all of that other stuff is going to become very, very clear. But I think there's a need for us to learn us again, you know, to know who we are. And, you know, that self-knowledge, which is what we've been about a lot, is the healing is in there. That's the sun comforter coming, the returning to the source. Another thing is that because if we do that, it'll help us understand that we're talking about what Wade Noble would call African spiritness. Spirituality becomes a way that you deal with that, because we are spirit, and then we've got to be very much focused on and concerned with how we connect with sources of power, sources of meaning by that spiritual power, the source of power. We always want to be connected to that, so that energy flows. That's what the music is about. That's what everything should be about. And then if we, you know, the culture itself, if we look at classic and traditional African civilization, is spiritually based, which means that you have the life process, the initiation process, different stages of growth and development and so forth. All of that is part of being spiritual, you know? Which means that a spiritual system is about pushing you to grow and supporting you in that growth. Okay? That's not religion. We have to understand the difference between that. We're talking about something that says to you, you are divine, you were born divine. And I had some quotes about that last night. And therefore, that brings with it certain responsibility and obligation. And the concept of ma'at. We are accountable to ma'at. So that means we got work to do. Just being Africans living means you have to continually to work to be the best that you can be, and you're in this continual process of transformation. Usually, we kind of retreat into religions in order to escape the work. Okay, so what I'm saying is that all of this is connected. To me, it's all political. If we understand who we are, the nature of who we are, and what that means in the African context, then that will dictate, it will mandate that we do all of this work, that we critique what we're supposed to be. We see it for what it is. It's non-African, it's anti-African, but we also see what is pro-African, and we affirm that, and we always ask the question, is it good for African people? Before you make a choice, you ask the question, is it good for African people? That's what determines what you do. Not if it makes me feel good, or, you know, I can do my own thing, and that kind of thing. But that's what I'm accountable for, is the interest of African people. That in itself is a very deep spiritual, political, ideological statement right there.